And welcome back to Idaho Today. You know, from one parent to another, this is a topic we don't want to think about having with our kids, but the possibility of one of their peers taking their own life is a potential. But knowing how to be there for our children and to support them is paramount. In a two-part Mom Matters series, I sat down with a mental health expert for advice on approaching this very conversation.
Cathi, it is so good to see you here. I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of Mom Matters today. You and I have talked many times about suicide prevention in teens, right? We've talked about red flags. Today, though, I want to come at it from a different angle. I want to talk about how do we manage as parents when one of our teens says that their friend is showing behavior that they're concerned about and that they're worried that their friend may be considering taking their life. What do we do as a parent of a child who then is dealing with that with a peer?
Yeah. I think first of all, as a parent, you want to thank your child for telling you, because that's a heavy weight for a kid to carry, because they feel they're responsible and they have to fix it. So thanking your child for being like, okay, thank you for telling me, because you're not in this alone and it's not for you to fix. And at that point, there's a kind of couple different things. A lot of times the kids are texting or Snapchat. Right, that's where it comes from.
Yes.
So if they can show you the text, if you know how to get a hold of that child's parent, that's great. But a lot of times, in my own experience, what's happened is they've been like, oh, I don't know their last name.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just like, this is what they said. And so then it's kind of, well, where do they go to school? And then contacting the school and letting them know so they can figure out who that student is and get to the parents. And really the way you want to respond is, take it seriously. Your child is feeling very concerned, so trust their gut. It's a good opportunity to encourage your child, like, good job listening to your gut. Thank you for talking to me. We want to make sure your friend's okay. And so you might feel like this is a betrayal to them, but this is going to help save their life.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, good. What if, like you had mentioned, well, actually I want to back this up. So you're suggesting that if you do not have the opportunity to reach a parent, you reach the school. Let's talk about the role that school counselors play in this type of scenario.
They play a big part. And so sometimes there's a school counselor or a school social worker, even the SRO, like if they don't, some schools are tiny, and they might not have one, but sometimes they have an SRO or a principal. Every school's got one. So even contacting them, but what you hope is that they do have a counselor, and that counselor can figure out who that student is and call them in, talk to them. As the parent, you can say, you're welcome to reach out to me again. I'm happy to help or talk, or then connect to the parent of that child, because they're your friends, your child's friend. But that way, you want to make sure that there's follow-up. So you try to get as much information as possible.
Okay. What if you are able to contact the other parent? How do you approach that conversation?
As a parent, it's kind of one of those, like, I don't want to overstep, right? I don't. And so just doing it with gentleness and authenticity, like, hey, my child is your child's friend. They just shared some really scary things, and you probably have seen some stuff going on, but I just want you to be aware they're talking about ending their life. They have a plan. They're talking about hurting themselves in more of a serious matter, if you will. But sometimes they'll share a plan, and they don't usually talk about it. So it's one of those things that if you can let a parent know, and that parent might be like, I don't know what to do. So 988, it's the easiest thing to remember. But people like to get online and do research. There's the American Suicide Prevention, there's the Dougie Center, there's the Speedy Foundation. So anything like that is going to have like little, I guess, guidelines about how to help. But as one mom to another mom, or one parent to another parent, you're just like, we care about our kids. We want them to be okay. If you're worried about a parent's response not taking that child seriously in their threats that they've told their kid about, anyone can call for a welfare check.
Okay.
If their text messages they're showing you are to the sense of I'm going to end my life and this is how, then if that parent isn't responsive, you can ask for a welfare check.
And how do you do that?
You call dispatch.
Okay.
So if you're in Ada County, it's Ada County Dispatch. You explain the situation, the response, and just ask for a welfare check to make sure that child's okay.
Okay.
I mean, we hope we never get to that point, but
Exactly.
sometimes we're like, they didn't seem to care,
Yes.
right? We want to make sure children are safe.
We'll continue that conversation with Cathi next week. And again, if you or anyone you love is struggling, call the suicide hotline. That's 988. And one more time, part 2 of this conversation will be next week right here on Idaho Today. You can always relive the conversation too on our website. That's ktvb.com/idaho-today. And we'll be back in just a few minutes.